Might hold up. They're saying they don't have any sound.
No sound on me. And so if you could read lips, you probably heard everything I just said. In case you didn't know, welcome to the Hangout. This is where I hang out with some of my more top patrons. It's $10 or more patrons that get to have this prestigious. And if you could read lips, you'd know that I made a joke about how that's not really a prestigious thing. And no sound on me. And so if you could read lips, you probably heard. What? I'm getting feedback from somebody. I just said. But in case you didn't know, welcome to the Hangout. I think it's Paul. Where I hang out with some of my more top patrons. Okay. It's prestigious. Or wait, hey Paul, can you turn down the stream a little bit?
Okay, that should be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Okay.
Looks like we got Pastor Jay in the chat section as well. But anyways, so I'm just letting you guys have the floor first. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I could do better, or if there's anything that you would like me to focus on my channel. Or maybe stop doing on my channel. Maybe I'm screwing something up. But since you guys do give me money for doing something I already love, I figured I would let you guys have some input on, what I'm doing on the channel.
Okay, who's going first?
I yell at him all the time. So
I think Paul just volunteered.
Oh.
Okay, well, one thing I've noticed is that I can't understand why you don't get as many views as you do, because you produce a lot of good content, and you have been doing it consistently for a long time. So maybe you can kind of ape other atheist YouTubers who kind of pick up on silly Christian videos where guys are talking nonsense, and then they kind of take it apart bit by bit, a bit like Bionic Dance does, or other people. I know you do that. I've seen you do that, and for me, they're my favorite videos, where you take somebody who's talking complete rubbish, and then you take them apart bit by bit.
Yeah.
That kind of takedown is quite good to watch.
Okay, yeah, no, I could definitely focus on doing that more. I felt like I kind of did that with that fallacy video that I put out this morning, in which, just so you know, I have about 30 more minutes of rebuttal to that video where I went through and I picked out all the different fallacies that he presents in it. And there's actually one part that I'll probably post next week, not as a fallacy video, but just a general response video. He recites this quote that supposedly proves that Hitler wasn't a Christian at all. But if you read the full quote in context, it goes on to talk about the World Trade Centers. And don't you just love the part where Hitler talks about the World Trade Centers? I mean, yeah. I can find so many quotes where Hitler's talking about the World Trade Centers. But no, yeah, I could definitely focus on doing that. That's awesome, son. Okay. All right. So that's really good. Do you have any other suggestions? I know that you were commenting on how I don't get a lot of views. I do try to promote my videos, on Google Plus and on Twitter and everything like that. I don't know. The only thing that I can think of is either is either I really suck and you guys might be delusional a little bit,
No,
or
it's not that.
yeah, or maybe it's just like the social media atmosphere right now is really like you have to hit that right group of people in order for them to deem it important enough to share around the social media site. And maybe, you know, I'm just not getting lucky enough to already have that group of people like on my channel, and so it makes it a lot tougher. I know go ahead.
There is one thing, John, that I've noticed about YouTube. There's a guy, he's a British guy, and like I do a lot of vaping, electronic cigarettes, you know, and he does a lot of reviews for these electronic cigarettes. And I've been watching his channel since he started, which was about 2 years ago. And his channel is kind of like yours. It's kind of like taken off, but really slowly. And there's other guys out there who've been doing it for longer, and they've got like 100,000 subscribers plus. And I was talking to this guy and I was saying, you know, there's like a point on YouTube where like nothing seems to happen for a long time, and then all of a sudden it kind of goes exponential, and maybe you're just waiting for that time to come for your channel, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, because I know on Facebook that's what happened to me. What I had was I was growing steadily, and then at one point I just shot up like 50,000 likes, and like I actually had people messaging the page like, "Look, dude, you post way too much." And on the page, I've had a consistent about once every hour, you know, with the exception of when I'm sleeping. But once an hour, you know, is about how long I have, like the shortest amount that I had between each post. So I think that maybe people were just getting bombarded with my post. But anyways, that's what seemed to happen on Facebook. So I mean, that's quite a possibility, and I really hope that it does take off. I'm making some headway in with some bigger YouTubers. Like this Sunday, I am helping out Armored Skeptic and Creationist Cat. They're going to be. Cool. Yeah, well, they're going to be doing a patron-only show, kind of like this, but Creationist Cat is making it available to everybody. But it's like a special patron show where he's going to do something special for the patrons, I'm guessing. But yeah, he's going to have Armored Skeptic on, and I'm going to be producing that for him. And so hopefully I'll be able to make some headway with you know, Armored Skeptic, and you know, get him to notice me a little bit.
Nice, yeah.
Lucy, do you want to relay any kind of information? Like I know we were kind of talking a little bit before this, but you know, in the chat you were talking about you know, I guess kind of the same thing that Paul was talking about here, the deconstructing of people's arguments and whatnot.
The deconstruction videos that you've been doing are basically your logical fallacy videos. The one you did this morning, you basically picked him apart piece by piece. And I went and watched the entire video.
Xander, I'm on a phone call right now. Xander, all dad. I see. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Grateful I have older boys to entertain my 7-year-old. I went in and I watched his entire video, the one that you were working on this morning, and that one is one of those videos that's just begging to be torn down. It's full of nothing but rhetorical content and things taken out of context. And I'm like Paul, I really enjoy you doing those videos.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'll definitely try to focus on doing those more. I feel like, you know, with that logical fallacy series that I started off with, I was really just going through and kind of explaining some of the more unknown fallacies in funny ways. But I think I like taking videos that are already out there and you know, basically, as I'm watching it, talking, through it and pointing out the fallacies as they come up, and I think that's a little bit more conducive and a little bit more useful for anybody that actually comes to it wanting to learn about fallacies, and because these would be actual fallacies that you can you could notice in actual videos or arguments that you're having online. There is actually, which I know that I showed Lucy this video, but there's this response video that somebody did to me over my Did Jesus Exist series. And I'm really holding back on putting up a little sign under it on a few parts that just says unintelligible. Because
is that the one that you showed me last night?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He calls Richard Carrier a hack, and he says that he shouldn't be taken seriously because he's not a peer-reviewed author. Now, I don't know if Richard Carrier isn't a peer-reviewed author, but that shouldn't have any kind of bearing on his evidence. I mean, if his evidence is, you're going to be able to tell it's bad. Me personally, Richard Carrier, he comes at it from a mathematical perspective. He starts off at truly neutral and looks at the evidence for it, and he uses probabilities to determine the most probable situation. And so that's why I like him, plus he's got very extensive writings on, the historicity of Jesus and just history in general. But kind of relating to that, another thing that I wanted to start doing is not reading the Gnostic Gospels or any of the Gnostic writings, but I would like to kind of summarize it as part of like my What Is series. Because I've got a lot of videos on my channel about what is, where I basically explain something that people might not really know a lot about. So I thought that maybe I could go through the Gnostic Gospels and summarize them in like a 5 to 7 minute video, and in a funny way, and present it like that. So because I know a lot of people know about the Gnostic Gospels, but I feel like not a lot of people actually know what's in the Gnostic Gospels. Because I know in one part of the Gnostic Gospels, Jesus pees in dirt and makes birds out of the mud with his piss. And then he turns the piss mud birds into actual birds, and they fly away. That's just before he kills another kid. So,
hey, I'm a little bit ignorant on the Gnostic Gospels. What's the difference between the Gospels in the Bible and the Gnostic Gospels?
Well, okay, so the Gnostic Gospels are the Gospels that were basically thrown out by the Council of Nicaea.
When they were putting the Bible together.
Right. They determined through some kind of criteria that these Gospels weren't like true stories about Jesus, and so they were kind of just tossed out. And
so
they
that
were
would be like, that would be like the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Those
Yes.
Gospels. Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and they were found at Nag Hammadi. The actual how they were found is actually kind of interesting, and I'll probably use Bart Ehrman for that backstory of how the Gnostic Gospels were found, because it was quite interesting. I've listened to Bart Ehrman's book on the Gospel of Judas. And which, if you don't know, the Gospel of Judas is the gospel that actually portrays Judas in a more positive light as being one of his more reverent or more, more committed disciples. And in the fact that he turned Jesus into the authorities because that's what had to happen.
Yeah.
So. What about you, Main Gun? Do you have anything to any kind of constructive criticism or anything that you'd like me to focus on?
I've learned I didn't grow up with religion at all, so I don't know a damn thing about any of this stuff. And a lot of the stuff that you've been kicking out about, taking apart the Bible and whatnot. I mean, I've been learning stuff, so that's been working. I like the interviews that you do too. Those have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So
I know that I've kind of slacked up on the interviews a little bit, and that's because I've been focused a little bit more on trying to figure out, where I want to go with my channel and figure out a good balance here at home. And I think I found that. And I know that I want to get back into the interviews, but I just needed a little break from them. And because I know I've got an interview with an XJW. His name's Jesse. I've got one of those that's going to be coming out soon. I've also got an interview with 3 people from the Mythicist Milwaukee team talking about their conference in Milwaukee. And they're going to have, I know Main Gun is going to know exactly who this is, but they're going to have Kill a Priest. I like his expression. He's from the Wu-Tang Clan. It's a rap group. For some reason, he's apparently he apparently knows a lot about the religions and whatnot. So they've actually got him that's going to be speaking at their conference.
Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was a bad joke, so sorry.
I've got a quick question for Larry. I'm guessing you were raised by atheist parents. Would that be right?
No, not really. My mother's Buddhist, and my dad is kind of non-religious at all. So, when I was growing up, my mother tried to kind of get me into the whole Buddhism thing. It never took. About the age I figured out Santa and the Tooth Fairy weren't real, then yeah, I kind of tossed all that stuff out, and I just, I heard people saying talking about God and Jesus and what have you, but I figured that was just things that people said. And then when I got to be a teenager, I thought, I've started figuring out that people really believe this crap, and I don't know why. And so that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, well, and that's really different from at least me because I grew up Catholic, and it just was kind of like a duh thing for me. It's like, oh yeah, of course God exists. Maybe not Noah flooding the old earth and whatnot, but I know God exists. So it's kind of like a duh thing for me, and I guess that's really why, after I came out of religion, I felt the need to really speak about it. When I was growing up personally, I wasn't able to really speak my mind on a lot of things. Like I was really told to stifle myself basically. And so when I found this new voice and I started researching on it, and I found that I was getting really well versed in it, I was like, I just had this incredible need to say something and be heard. So I'm glad that it's been well received.
Yeah, there are not enough people that do speak. The issue of religion was never an issue for me at all until I moved out of the city and moved out into the country, and everybody out here is
Bundy.
Yeah.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Which this is going to lead us into one of the perks that you guys get for being such contributors to me and really supporting me in all ways, basically, is the quote what I've deemed swag, and every month for the $10 and above patrons, not only do you get to join this, but I also send you some kind of free item. So last month I was able to send Lucy and Main Gun theirs. I'm still working on Paul's. He's going to be getting 2 though, because he lives
Christmas.
over. Yeah, he lives over in the UK. And so, I was really behind last month, so I'm making up for it with 2 this month. But I think Main Guns is probably the most interesting if you want to show people what I got you last month, man.
All right. Now, mind you, my dad is he's big on dinosaurs, and in fact, just last week, we actually had breakfast with like the world's leading paleontologist. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he's really big on it. And and thank you so much, John, for sending me this so I can let my dad know that he was wrong. And I don't know if you can get on the screen here.
Yeah, it's
Dinosaurs of Eden by Ken Ham. I'm going to treasure this forever.
Yeah. And that's got a lot of great stuff in it, namely a ripped-off version of Stargate. I don't know if you know what Stargate is. It's a sci-fi thing. Yeah. It's got a very bad version of Stargate in it, as well as a ridiculous idea that wouldn't it be cool to see a T-Rex now? I think the Jurassic Park movies had pretty much proved that wrong. And then, another curious thing in there is that it says that dinosaur fossils fossils in general can be made really quick, and that's because of a flood. And so, exactly. But now Lucy, she can't show hers, because she's having to hide it from her kids, actually. What I got Lucy was a lanyard, but it was a Batman lanyard. And then I'm guessing that she's still having to hide this too, but I got her a bounty hunter hat.
Shelf up there.
Oh yeah, it has Boba Fett on it, and it says bounty hunter, and it's kind of like one of those. It's cut out, but you can tell that it says bounty hunter, and it's got Boba Fett in the words and whatnot. It's pretty cool. But I got her that, so that's where I kind of got the idea of doing swag each month. So we're coming up on the end of July here, so you guys should be expecting your swag for next month. I'm going to try to get more diligent about sending those out before the end of the month, so that you kind of get it right there at the beginning of the month.
Do I need to put that in your calendar in pen?
Yeah. More like chisel it,
Okay, I can
some
do
stone.
Going caveman patriarchy, are we?
Yes, exactly. Caveman patriarchy.
Get your chat under control.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason's in the chat wreaking havoc, isn't he?
He's in there trying to make me bust up laughing is what he's doing.
Yeah, let's see. He said, aren't dinosaurs the things that man walked with about 4,000 years ago? Which is kind of funny. In that book that I gave Main Gun, they actually say that the reason why they are extinct is because we hunted them to extinction, and it compares them to the dodo birds in that respect. And so it's pretty ridiculous. But let's see. We covered did Jesus exist? Sorry, I've got like a little list of things that I want to be sure that I cover before we get to just general bullshittery. Let's see, did Jesus exist? The godless politics, I don't know, it's been a little bit since I've done like a godless politics thing, and I know in the UK it might be a little bit hard for you to follow over here just because of how ridiculous the American political system is, but I mean, have you guys seen those videos? Like, do you like them, or do you think that maybe I should cut them out of like my lineup?
Who's that to? Me?
All three. Yeah, all of you guys.
Well, I think religion and politics they're not non-overlapping magisteria. They kind of come together in even secular countries, you know. I mean, you've got the constitution that has a separation of church and state, but the irony is that you can't be elected to political office unless you profess your faith. And in our country, we have kind of the reverse situation. So, yeah, I think you should keep putting that message out there, because in your country in particular, there's a lot of people who need to hear it and understand it. That's the important part. Understand it. Atheists aren't as bad as rapists. They shouldn't be vilified. It's just a single position on a single claim. I don't believe you're claiming God because there's not enough evidence. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, and it doesn't mean you should think I should go to hell, and it doesn't mean to say I can't run for office and be a great president, you know. So I think that message is really important for you guys, to show that atheists are good people, moral people, and they don't need religion to be that. Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. And I think that it's quite. I think it's quite horrible, at least in the United States here, that, you know, if you doubt God in any way, then or if you just simply don't mention God, you get crap for it.
Yeah.
And because, you know, recently Barack Obama, he came under fire because he just didn't mention God in his July 4th, or I guess to Paul that would be what would that be, Treason Day, or...
International Treason Day.
Yeah. But yeah, so he didn't mention that, and he caught a bunch of crap from the Christians. But, you know, what I find funny is that, like, during the Super Bowl, people were up in arms about how, I think it was Carnival Cruise Lines was talking about, you know, how we came from the sea or whatnot, and, you know, was basically supporting evolution, or this idea that we evolved from sea creatures into land creatures, you know, and like, they got all up in arms about that, but then at the halftime show, Katy Perry was twirling around a rag as it was coming down from the ceiling, and, you know, she was like, "Oh, thank God," and, you know, it's like no atheist gave a crap about that, but yet religious people find this smallest, most minute thing to, like, get all pissy about.
Yeah, it's a whole persecution complex.
Exactly. Yeah, they have to find something to be persecuted about. You know, that's why in my fallacy video today, when the guy was like, "We're always having to make concessions. You're always making us stifle ourselves, but you don't have to stifle yourself at all." That's why I just simply replied with a hysterical laugh, because it's just ludicrous that you would even put that out there.
What would we...
What was that, main gun?
No, I'm just sitting here scratching my head, thinking, what the hell do we have that would need to be stifled or stomped on or oppressed or what?
What I think that he's referencing in that is like us. Or not us, but atheist organizations calling religious people on, you know, putting up religious propaganda with public monies. Like, for instance, in Hawkins, Texas, you know, there's that sign that made the news a while back, where it was a government paid for sign, endorsed sign that was sitting on public property that says, "Jesus welcomes you to Hawkins." And it's like, that's not cool. You just got to move it onto private land. But, you know, they put out the straw man argument of, well, you know, they just want to silence us. You know, they just want Jesus out of everywhere. They don't even want it on private land or something like that. I know that was an actual argument that came up in their little meeting. They said that, you know, basically that it was going to be... it was going to come to the point where they can't even put it up on their own personal property, which is totally ridiculous. But you know, I think it's calling out things like that, and calling out when nativity scenes are put up at courthouses, but yet other religions are rejected for putting up their respective holiday decorations at the courthouse, like Pastafarians, or what the case with the Ten Commandments and the statue for the Satanists. I think that what he's referencing there is the fact that we're finally taking a stand against the religious majority in America and making them follow the actual Constitution instead of whatever in the hell they think that the Constitution says. I mean, they really do have a messed up sense of like what the First Amendment says and what the Constitution says in general.
Here's something that I want to bring up because you'll know about this. The recent the gay rights for equal marriage. Isn't it true that the Supreme Court passed a ruling that enables gays in every state to get married? However, they haven't amended the Constitution, which still says that they can't do that. Is that true, or have I got that wrong?
Well, see, with the United States, the way that our legal system and our laws work is that we're based on case law. And so while it's not amended in the Constitution yet, that would be, I think, under the civil rights. We would have to make an amendment that adjusts the civil rights, the civil rights amendment that protects against discrimination against age, sex, and race. And we would
right.
Just have to add gender.
So therefore, isn't it right that the Supreme Court can supersede the Constitution?
Well, yeah, but it's because of how our laws and how our system is set up here. We're based on case law. And see, the thing with case law is that because the Supreme Court is the highest court in our system, they made a ruling. And so now, you could deny people or the LGBT community the ability to get married, right? You could try to deny them that. But see, the problem is that it would be a meaningless thing to do because they would just take you to court. The judge would be like, oh, no, because of this ruling by the Supreme Court, you have to issue it. And so therefore it's just a pointless process. So
okay.
by the Supreme Court doing that, they effectively ad hoc created a new law that says, hey, LGBT people can get married just the same as everybody else. And so that's basically how that works.
Okay.
A very similar thing happened with...
The way I...
Oh, go ahead.
No, so go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to just compare that to the I think it was the blue state laws in the 90s that was... basically outlawing homosexuality. And that's how I learned about the case law and how our legal system's set up, because on the face of it, the laws would seem to be, non-discriminatory because it could possibly apply to, people of any gender or sexual orientation. But you see, another thing that changes the nature of the law is how the law is enforced. So you can make a law that's totally non-discriminatory, but if you enforce it in a discriminatory way, the law then becomes discriminatory. And so therefore you can go back with, a Supreme Court ruling or whatever, and you can overrule that basically, and you can have those laws struck down. What were you going to say, Mangun? I think Mangun might be having connection issues.
The way I understand it, and I don't know if I'm right here or not, but the way I understand how the Supreme Court's supposed to work is that their function is to rule on the constitutionality of a particular law. And we have an amendment in the Constitution that protects that is supposed to protect people from being discriminated against as far as race and gender. And I think religious preference, but it makes no mention of sexual orientation. And the Supreme Court, essentially, when they ruled, they looked at that amendment, and although sexual orientation is not explicitly stated in that, they kind of extrapolated intent from that to make their ruling. But it would, for clarification purposes, it would probably be it would behoove everybody for there to be an additional amendment made to clearly state that. And I think that's where a lot of the the I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
that's where the loose
I think we lost Main Gun. I think what Main Gun was trying to say is that is where a lot of people become confused. Is because it's not explicitly stated. Yeah, we lost Main Gun for a second. I'm sure we'll be able to get him back here in a second. Yeah, to play off what Main Gun was saying, let's see, the Joso Network says July Patreon Hangout is awesome. Awesome, thanks. But yeah, so while it doesn't explicitly state it, with the Supreme Court ruling, and I believe Main Gun is right there that what they did was ruled on the constitutionality of it, and and so by doing that, they have effectively kind of created that they've just made it so that if it were to come up, oh no, call dropped. If they were to bring this up in court, I mean, they literally just have to be like, okay, well, what does the Constitution say? They go to it, and it's like, oh yeah, because what the Constitution is it binds all the states together under a single kind of banner of laws,
federal law.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are trying to fight that. I know down here in the South, they are trying to fight it pretty hard. We've got that one asshole governor. Or not governor, but Supreme Court guy that is Roy Moore. Yeah, Roy Moore. He wants to prevent it. Like he's ordering judges to disobey the federal government. Now, I know that I've kind of made this comparison before on a video, but how would it be if one of us was like, nope, I'm not going to follow that law today, and just straight up went and killed somebody. I mean, I hate to go to that extreme, but I mean, in the context of it's a law, you have to follow it. How crazy would it be for you to be like, oh hey, you don't have to follow the don't murder people law? I mean, that just kind of seems insane to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. One subject that I do want to touch on while we are trying to get Larry back, but I think the toaster he's using for internet service is
Larry
shot.
lives in the middle of nowhere in Kansas, so gotta wait for the gerbils to fire back up again.
Yeah, he's got to put that cheese out there.
Yep.
Oh, is Larry back? Or Main Gun?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. We weren't talking about you, though.
I think God cast you out the chat, Larry. I think that's what happened.
It wasn't just me. I'm not running this show. It was just you. We were all still here.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Did you want to finish? Do you remember what you were trying to say earlier?
I don't know. I was just I don't even know now. My
Yeah, you were talking about how it needs to be explicitly stated in the Constitution about sexual or sexual orientation being protected under the discrimination law, anti-discrimination law.
Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at, and because it's not explicitly stated in there, is why a lot of the states can pass these laws that do specifically discriminate against people based on sexual orientation, and other states can pass laws that protect people against that kind of thing. But until until it's explicitly stated in the Constitution, then you're going to have all these weird, variations between the laws of different states.
Yeah,
That's all.
a good example of that is the woman. I love this picture too, and I wish I had it, but I don't want to go and try to find it and really stall this this little session here. But there's this one picture of a woman that is she's sitting there and she's denying a marriage license to these homosexual guys, right? And then she's sitting there saying, "Look, I don't want to say why I'm denying you, but it's not because of my personal opinions." But she has this wall of crucifixes behind her. It's like, no, we don't have any idea why you're denying them the right to get married. Nope, not at all. And then there's a one clip that went viral that is these two guys who had been together for it was like 15 years or something. They were finally going to get married, and they were so ecstatic about it. They get in there, and they get told by a woman who's been divorced 4 times that no, you can't get married because marriage is between man and a woman. And it's like, yeah, man and a woman, and then a man and a woman again, and then a man and a woman again, and then a man and a woman and his mistress. But hey, you know what? That's in the Bible, right?
I think they call that serial brides, don't they?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yes.
A black widow without the widow part. Let's see. Yes, and then another thing that I kind of want to discuss is Roogate. What I'm denoting as Roogate.
This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Did you say Roogate or Roo?
No, Roo. Like atheism is unstoppable.
Hangout.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So the other day, after Roo posted his response to his original video, it was, he mentioned me in the description, but he nowhere puts it in his video that I'm part of this whole thing. Like, he mentions Creationist Cat by name. Of course, he neglects to even mention the Bible Reloaded, which he mentions in the description. So I know it's not just me. But after he posted that, my video, I noticed my video at in a 30-minute time span jumped from 49 dislikes to 106 dislikes. As opposed to I think I had 70 likes on it at the time. Now, I'm not I'm not a person that really goes by the likes. I mean, I like seeing the likes, and I hate seeing the dislikes without any kind of commentary as to why they dislike the video. Because, without that kind of criticism, I don't feel like I can make stuff better. Or, if they have a valid criticism, a valid reason to dislike the video. And so that's why I don't like the dislikes. It's not because they dislike the video, but it's because they didn't let me know why they disliked the video. But in this case, that's not playing into it at all. I actually laughed when I saw it jump up to 106 dislikes, and I'm like, whoa, really? I didn't even like or dislike Roo's videos, but I love the hypocrisy that I'm seeing out of these people, because if I respond in a very aggressive way at all, then they jump on my stuff about it. But yet they're doing this in the face of a guy whose only avenue of attack is insult, is to poison the well. What was that?
Ad homs.
Yeah, and that's what it's filled with: ad homs, strawmans, and everything.
Well,
and
I think it's really important to tread the line carefully between ad hominem and being a polemicist. Christopher Hitchens was a fantastic polemicist, but he never got personal with his opponents. He used his intellect and his incredible vocabulary to tear them to pieces, and I wish I was half as smart as him, but I do try to follow that ethic when I'm talking to people. If you get personal, in my opinion, you've kind of lost the debate there and then. So, but being a polemicist, some people get confused that sometimes they say, well, that's ad hominem, but it's not. Being a polemicist is being aggressive on your opponent's argument, but not your opponent. Yeah, right. And that's a subtle difference. And I find that when I'm talking to Christians who tend to be Gnostic theists, they claim to know there's a God, and they'll defend that to the death. The only way to fight fire with fire is to be aggressive, but do it in a polemicist way and not an ad hominem way. Yeah.
Right. And trust me, I would even be the first. I would be the first to say that I have succumbed to ad hominems on from time to time, and it's a very thin, it's a very narrow, I guess, line to walk. As you were saying. And see, the thing is that a lot of people are saying that Rue's comments were just insult comedy and not any kind of argument against Jacqueline Glenn. But in the video, that's the entire point of the video, is to tell her, hey, you're wrong about this. You're wrong to see it this way or to put this stuff out there. But what he does, and I actually looked up the technical definition of ad hominem fallacy, and that's when you bring up personal things instead of attacking a person's argument. And so that's all Rue was doing, and it's pretty ridiculous for his fans to be like, these aren't ad homs. There have been some that have said, oh, these are ad homs, I'll give you that, but then they try to, they seem to really focus.
Comedy.
Yeah, they focus on the idea that it's comedy.
Was he the guy who was calling you fat? Was that him?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's a dickhead. End of story.
I got blocked for favoriting one of John's tweets to him.
Yeah.
I got blocked for that. That's the kind of person you're dealing with.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, Paul, would you pull your mic back from your mouth a little bit? That's all they can hear is you breathing. You're kind of turning on Pastor Jay a little bit, and I don't want to clean up the room.
Hey, I wish I told you earlier because the stream's almost over.
Oh no, I was waiting. It was too nice watching him panic over it. So he's going to have to go. That's
better.
That's better on the breathing.
Sorry, everyone. I didn't know.
It's okay. It's just going to mean that Pastor Jay has to go visit a truck stop tonight. He'll be thinking of you, so it's all good now.
Well, by the way, shout out to Pastor Jay. I love your videos, man. They're absolutely awesome and really funny. Keep it up.
Crap, now I got to deal with his ego later. Thanks, Paul.
Let's see, Jacob, I'm going to be addressing my game streams here in just a little bit, so if you can just hang tight for a little bit longer, we'll be discussing that. But I want to continue with the whole Rugate thing just a little bit more, because I find that the hypocrisy is palpable with these people, because they'll sit there and they'll hold me to a higher standard than they hold Rue. And I feel that that's pretty unfair, because I'll come at them aggressively, and I'll make some colorful illustrations to denote the whole narcissism thing and whatnot. I know one particular thing that I've been coming up with is self-fellatio. Think Ron Jeremy. Mangun's like, I don't watch that stuff, John. I'm, you and Pastor Jay can watch that together. But because with
I don't judge.
Okay, thanks. But with narcissism and stroking your own ego, a lot of times it's related to mental masturbation, right? You're stroking your own ego. That's what I feel like a lot of Rue's supporters are doing for themselves, as well as doing for Rue himself. Because it does have a really big cult mentality with this guy. If you don't absolutely agree with Rue, then he shuts you out completely. You can't disagree with him. But yet, I freely allow these people to disagree with me on my channel, and then I get called illogical. because I bring up colorful metaphors for stroking your own ego, and I mean those may be ad homs, but I'm not saying that they're wrong. For instance, this one person commented with telling me, hey, are you gonna redo your position because of this? And I'm like, well, no. And I gave him a very succinct and straightforward layout of why I think that I'm still right, why I'm firm in my position, and what I think about Rue. And he just comes back with more Rue rhetoric. And so I'm just like, I'm not like, there's got to be some point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to take you seriously anymore. And it's kind of like after that comment, I just didn't take him seriously. And so because I told him, you're sucking on that kangaroo dick, and you can't do anything with Rue's dick up your ass. Those things. And he took those as ad homs. I don't think that those are ad homs, because I don't know if he's gay or not or whatnot. I don't know about his personal life. Those are, to me, those are colorful metaphors to relate how closely he holds Rue in his own view. Basically, that's how I see it. Now, I could be wrong. Those could be ad homs, and if they are ad homs, I'll definitely have to change my tactic a little bit, because after viewing Rue's video and seeing how he ad homs people, I really don't want to ad hom people. So, if anything, Rue's video has had a very positive effect on me, in that I seriously do not want to go down the path of the Rue. So, But do you guys have any other opinions on that whole situation in general? I got
nothing. I've been on the road for 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. So
yeah.
You probably don't want to know.
No. I do plan. I'm literally letting this right here be the last thing that I'm really going to address about it. I don't plan on mentioning this any further, just because I don't think that anything useful else is going to come from this. I'm going to keep up with Atheism is Unstoppable, because he has been posting, which I find odd. He's been posting mirroring people's videos that are against him. But yet he didn't mirror my video. It's where I call out all of his fallacies. It's really interesting. Rue, if you're watching this. But I really think that my video against him really kind of struck hard, plus the fact that I didn't let him bully me. I know Mangun doesn't know this, but he on Twitter, he basically said, oh yeah, and you're fat, basically slinging an ad hom while saying, hey, this is an ad hom. But the only response that I had for him was, wait, I'm fat? Are you really? Oh my god, I've been so wrong. Why has nobody told me?
Why didn't I notice?
I mean, I'm sitting over here.
I believe your words were, why God, why?
Yeah,
and
why God, why?
Shit.
Well, I mean, especially when I'm laying on the bed and I'm playing around with my son as he's like walking all over me and whatnot, and then he hits my stomach and I see the waves in my stomach, roll over, and he's like, oh, hey daddy, look, and he keeps doing it. It's like, no, I'm not fat. Which I'm fine with the way that I look. I have no qualms about, the way that I look. So if anybody, if that's what he wants to attack, that's fine, because I don't care. And now finally, to get to the game streams. So how are you guys liking the game streams?
Love them.
Yeah, I love them. The only thing with me is being in the UK. I need to get up at like 3 a.m. to watch them. That's the only thing. I don't want you to change for me, but if I have a sleepless night, I'll join you.
Okay, awesome. Well, what about the ones that I do on my Saturday mornings? I think
Saturdays are great, yeah, because that's like the afternoon for me. So
Yeah.
I love the Saturday game streams. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that tonight, actually, I'm supposed to be doing BioShock, which I know that I don't want to keep you up too late there, Paul.
I probably will be there for that one, actually, because I had a bad night last night, and then I slept through the day today, so I probably won't sleep tonight, so I'll probably be there. One little thing, though, now that you've got this fantastic computer, yeah, why don't you buy GTA 5 and do a game stream of that? That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Interesting note with that, because what I do have is that, for one thing, there's the money aspect of buying it on my computer, but also I have it on my Xbox One. And with Windows 10 coming out in like 5 days, what I would like to try to do is use GTA 5 as a test run for streaming from my Xbox One to the computer to YouTube. If I can get that process worked out really well, I think that's how I'll play GTA 5.
That'd be great. I look forward to that, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I did mention that, that I had a little bit of a surprise about the game streams. Tonight is, of course, going to be BioShock 2 that I'm playing through. But what I'm probably going to end up doing is stopping a little bit early and then heading over to my GE Plays channel to do a first playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I recently got that. Those games are pretty cheap, so I was able to get that. And so I believe I should have the link here in the description on this video. If you would like to go to the GE Plays channel, subscribe, you'll get a notification about that particular event. But what I plan on doing tonight is playing through my BioShock as regular, but then directly after that, I'm going to be checking out Five Nights at Freddy's 4, because it looks vastly different from the other ones, and it feels more Exorcist-y to me from the previews that I saw. So if you want to be scared shitless tonight there, Paul, check that out.
I will do.
You're going to be the only one jumping.
Oh, am I? You're just going to be sitting there like, yep, I saw that coming, John.
We wait for you to jump and scream. We really need a compilation video of that, too. And you're singing.
Oh,
you hear
and
that,
my
Pastor
singing?
Jay? We need that mixtape.
Oh man. But another thing that I want to kind of state right now is kind of my schedule for the channel in general, and that includes the game streams. What, Lucy?
How many times have we talked about schedule?
Yeah. Well, I think I've actually narrowed down a pretty good schedule for this stuff. I've been working on balancing out, trying to figure out what works for me, what works for my home life, and everything like that. So what I've kind of figured out is that okay, so starting at the beginning of the week on let's start on Mondays. Mondays, as far as atheist content kind of goes, what I want to do is on Mondays, I want to do the, I've been calling it Mythicist Monday, but I think it's going to turn more into just a general kind of Bible examination or whatnot surrounding Jesus, and that's kind of what it's turned into. So you'll probably see a mix of Bible analysis and Did Jesus Exist stuff on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays, of course, I have a clip from a past video that's going to be posted publicly to everybody. But for everybody that's a patron, you're going to get my new video of the day, and that's going to be either a what is, or a minute in atheism, or godless politics, or some kind of random thing there. And then on Fridays, of course, is Fallacy Fridays. Now, the Tuesdays and Thursdays will be more like short videos, maybe some short godless politics or minutes in atheism and whatnot. They're not going to be the more intensive and scripted, like the Monday videos or the Friday videos or anything like that. Another series that I really want to start doing a lot more is the What Is series, where I explain stuff. Things that people, might not seek out on their own, but with me and my own curiosity, I generally seek this stuff out. And so I thought it might be cool to make videos on it and me explaining stuff. So I'm gonna be working that into one of the days, either Tuesdays or Thursdays. Now, as far as my game streams go, what I've settled on is doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are going to be my game stream nights, with the exception of Saturdays and Sundays being at 10 a.m. during the day.
Yay.
Mondays and Fridays will be at night. Currently, right now, on Mondays I'm playing Borderlands, and on Fridays I'm playing BioShock, and then Fallout is on Saturday, Skyrim on Sunday. And so that's pretty much how I'm going to be laying out, the game streams on my channel. And if you want more randomized game streams, where I might just turn on my recorder and instantly stream to the GE Plays channel, I suggest you going there and subscribing there if you want to just randomly hang out with me sometime. But yeah, so that's going to be basically my my schedule for the channel. I'm probably going to do a video later where I actually point out, what days are going to be what. This is just kind of me verbally relaying it. So, and as you guys as my patrons, what do you think, about that schedule?
Go, Lucy.
It works for me.
Schedule's fine.
Yeah,
fine for me.
Okay. Well, I would hope that if you see a problem or if you think something could work better, you feel comfortable enough with mentioning it to me. I've in the past, it's been a little hard for me to accept constructive criticism, but I've really been working hard on that personally, and so I've gotten a lot better with accepting it and employing it. When it's good criticism. So. I hope that you guys feel comfortable enough with me to suggest things or let me know when I'm doing something wrong. If there's going to be anybody that I listen to, it's definitely going to be the people that are helping me make this channel better. So, let's see. We've passed the hour mark, and so do you guys have anything that you want to leave with? Anything you want to say? Any topics you want to discuss real quick? Know my opinion on or anything like that?
I'm not letting you off the hook on God Block.
Oh yeah, God Block. Okay, yes, let's talk about God Block real quick. I have a website. And it's it's got a blog on it. I wrote the website by hand, and so I've been posting some blogs on there a lot more frequently. And the most recent one has been about God Block. If you don't know what God Block is, it's basically a software filter that you install on your computer with your browser, and it basically censors all religious stuff. And apparently I have somebody calling me. Hold on. No, don't. I'll call you back. Sorry. Okay. Back. But what God Block is it basically censors, any kind of religious content that is on a website. What it does is it scans the website for any kind of religious stuff, and then it censors it from your presumably children, or you if you just simply don't want to see it. And my personal view on this is that it's not really a good idea, because the kids that are young enough to where you're going to be concerned about this, hopefully you're monitoring their internet use and you're already like got web filters on it and whatnot. But more importantly, you're like right there with them monitoring it, because I get that not everybody can be right there with their kid, but if that's the case, I would hope that you wouldn't let your kid just have free roam of the internet. That just seems a little irresponsible to me personally. And so, I think the age at which this may be targeted at, which would be, the kids that can be on the internet without adult supervision 24/7, I think that if they run into some religious stuff and they have questions about it, you should be supportive of them. You should try to answer their questions to the best of your abilities, and emphasize that there are other answers out there, and that what you really, in my own view, what you really need to emphasize is that no matter what, you're going to be there to support them. You're going to be behind them, because trying to figure out your religious views are probably, and I don't think that it should be this way, but I think it is this way. It's one of the most difficult things in society right now, because of the emphasis that we put on religion and the questioning, and people that question religion. So I think that the God block thing isn't that good of an idea, because that's censoring your child or sheltering your child, and when they get out into the real world, they're not going to be prepared to interact with people on this level. And so I'm wondering, I know Lucy has a lot to say on this. Do you want to go first, Lucy?
I'll let the guys go first.
Okay, guys, do you know what I'm talking about when I say God block?
Not 100%.
Okay. Well, there's godblock.com kind of has like a little thing, like a little brief thing on it, but basically it's just like a web filter that blocks out religious information.
It blocks out the bad content from the Bible, the murders, the rapes, things like that. It's only allowing the sugar-coated version of the Bible through.
Okay. I don't really see what the point of that is, because it's the most horrendous parts of the Bible that make most people atheists. So I'm not entirely sure I agree with it. But, whatever.
Well, how do you feel about censorship or sheltering in general?
Well, censorship, when it comes to religion, I don't think there should be any. I think we should lay it bare and let people, especially children, figure it out for themselves and come to their own conclusion about what's right and wrong and what's true and what's false. Censorship in other areas, I agree with totally. Like if it's censorship of gruesome things that happen in life every day, people being killed, if it's certain types of pornography, that kind of thing, yeah, fine. But the Bible, no, I don't think that the Bible should be censored. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh no, I think you're right. I think that I don't believe in sheltering your kids even from religion. If they have questions about it, you don't need to be like, no, you don't need to say that. Like if my son came to me now with questions about God or anything like that, I would definitely try to answer him the best that I could, but let him know that I'm gonna support him no matter what he decides, and and I'll probably suggest reading. Like I'd probably even suggest the Bible. He can't read yet, and plus I've asked him about God in the past, and he's like, no, I don't know. I don't want to know what a God is. And so it just seems like he's not naturally curious about a supernatural
at this point. But he will get curious as he gets older, won't he?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know that right now he's in a very mirroring state with me. So like he's like, I'm going to be a godless engineer, like that, kind of deal. And so I think it's cute, but I know that he doesn't really know what it means to be godless or anything like that. So
yeah.
What about you, Main Gun? What do you think about this concept, just the censoring of religious, stuff online?
I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. I think you ought to teach your kids how to think critically, how to figure things out. And if they're that young, you need to be watching over their shoulder and seeing what they're seeing. And if they've got, encourage them to ask questions, question everything. And if they need clarification, then you give it to them. But as far as censoring religious content, I'm not a big fan. I think that would be more for folks that, as the TV said, is a babysitter.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that the point at which, like I was saying before, I think the point at which somebody would allow their kids to be on the computer without direct supervision is the age where if they have questions, you should definitely be like, okay, well, let's, I'm here to help you. I'm here to figure this out with you. And, just, telling them to ask questions is a very positive message to send to them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered the God block thing. I'm going to augment the description and have my article that I wrote on my website that discusses my position on it, but it's pretty much the position that I relayed here. But if you want to check it out, it'll be there. Is there any kind of anything that you guys want to discuss? I don't know. I know, Maine, you said that you'd been on the road and kind of out of it, but I didn't know if maybe there were some current events that you wanted to talk about or discuss or anything.
Well, nothing really related to the subject matter that we've got, or being godless or nothing. I just come back from the East Coast, and my sister. Y'all familiar with New Horizons, the space probe that they sent to Pluto?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My sister's on that team.
Oh wow.
And she flew my folks and myself out to the coast, and we got to be there for the flyby, and I was rubbing elbows with so many PhDs that I was thinking maybe I could pick up some of that knowledge via osmosis. It didn't really work so well. But,
he was also just to clarify, he was also trying to pick up some of those PhDs.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, just amazing stuff. I got to see stuff like before the press got to see stuff. That was like really cool.
Oh yeah, I bet. Now I've seen this picture.
Some of them
were cute. Yes, I know.
Now I've seen I've seen pictures that have shown Pluto to actually be the Death Star. I'm wondering, is that something that we need to be concerned with there, Manga? Did you see that too, or is this an Illuminati probe?
Well, I think that was a whole Illuminati setup. I'm gonna go have to check with the Illuminati board and the legal department there. But I'll get you clarification on that.
Well, you see, it's kind of like the branches of government. You have the Illuminati branch, and then you have the Patriarch branch, and then you have the Atheist branch, apparently. So the secular society, the secular theocracy branch, yeah. So
I just use that phrase.
They're dragging their heels on sending me my membership card on that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, is they're dragging heels.
It's government. Paul, what do you expect?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. How do you trust somebody that has a pentagram for a government building? Or a pentagon. A pentagon.
Pentagram.
Sorry, I'm a little screwed up. Paul, was there anything like local to you or that you might want to discuss? I don't know what's going on over there in the UK.
Well, the only one thing sprung to mind when you were talking about your channel earlier. I remember this must be like 4 or 5 months ago when I was just getting to know you, and we talked about you having a forum on your website, which you coded yourself, yeah. And you were thinking about it at the time. I think that would be a brilliant step forward for you, because if you have a forum, you've got a place to bring in your current subscribers, and you can have lots of different topics in your forum, and we can all come together and get conversations going and chat, and it'll bring more people in. And when more people come in, they'll find out about your YouTube channel and start watching your videos. It might help to grow your YouTube channel, you know. So I think that's something you should consider.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I know I was looking into some forum, web software, basically just a plugin that would allow me to customize it and really make it kind of similar.
He's under.
Say hi to everybody.
Yeah, wrap it up soon.
Fist bump.
Fist bump him, son. But yeah, no, I really want to do a forum, and I've been dragging my butt on doing a forum. I think what I'm gonna settle on is getting a WordPress section that it. Xander, son, I'm on the phone. I think I'm going to settle on a WordPress portion of the website and install a plugin that is a forum, and then pretty much just direct people there, because I want to do a lot with my channel, and I would love to be able to write more code for it, but I think I'm going to reserve that for the actual public face of the website, and have that be my code, and then have other portions of it, because I have installed a question and answer portion on the website, on a development portion of the website, and I've got to work on getting the look of it down, and but basically it's supposed to be kind of like a Stack Exchange that I kind of want to build up for people to, if they have questions about something, they can ask them, and then as a community we can answer and vote on the best answers for that. And so hopefully that could help. But I also want to do a forum for discussions, not just for question and answer stuff, which you would be able to post that there too, but the forum would be more for basically everything, because one of the things is that I'm trying to build a community of people, and with a community you have all different types of conversations going on, not just the whole atheist thing, because I think if we pigeonhole ourselves into the single atheist perspective, that at some point it's going to get dry, and it's really going to run up. I think expanding. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, when I spent about 6 years running a gaming clan for Call of Duty, and I had my own website and I had a forum, and we had all of the gaming specific stuff at the top of the forum, which was about our leagues and our matches and our gameplay, and then we had general discussion and sport and off topic and all the rest of it, and religious threads and stuff like that. And we only had about 20 members in our clan, but on the day I closed the site down, because the game was getting too old, I had well over 1,000 members on the forum, and most of them had been posting sporadically for a number of years, And I just think if you had a forum, it doesn't have to be all about atheism. Yeah, have atheism stuff in there, and promote your videos and stuff, but have other stuff in there that's got nothing to do with it, and you'll bring people in, and when they're browsing your forum, they'll see your videos, and they'll go onto YouTube and watch them and uprate them, and it's got to be a positive thing, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now that I guess I'm hearing from you guys and whatnot that this would be a very positive thing to do, I think I'll probably work a bit harder on getting that up and going.
Sweet.
And
yeah.
Yes, please do.
I know a lot of people have a problem with my group on Facebook, because the group, it's just a single stream of consciousness, basically, with Facebook. I mean, you can't sort it out. The only way that you can really sort it out is by creating a different group. And I haven't really liked that aspect, but with a forum, you can have different categories, and and you could just subscribe to, I don't know if you have to subscribe to the whole thing or if you can subscribe to a particular category on there or whatnot with like a RSS feed or something. But yeah, I'm going to work on getting that up and going, and I'll probably ask a few of you guys in the chat and on here to help me moderate it, because I know that as it grows, there definitely, hopefully we won't have to do a lot of moderation, but, with Atheists being a diverse group as it is, we might have to. So,
well, you're going to attract more than just atheists with it, so it's going to be a necessity to moderate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Paranor in the chat asked me how big my personality is. If he's actually talking about personality, yeah. I mean, I'd have to say.
I'm laughing at Paul. Paul's over here doing this.
Hey, I'm not Pimp Monk, okay?
Oh, wow. No, I'm not touching this. I'm not touching this.
That's what she said.
I got told I was that she. Shut up.
Hey, come on, kink and chop.
Yeah, kink and chop.
And you're the one dropping nipple clamps right off the bat. I don't want to hear it.
All right. Now that I've satisfied Paranor in the chat. So many innuendos. We're gonna wrap up this month's Patreon hangout. I appreciate everybody for joining us. We've had a pretty steady stream of people watching online. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope that our discussions here might gear you towards helping me better this channel. And even if you don't, that's still totally cool, because all of my stuff's going to be out there. The only thing that you're going to miss out on is getting to see, that early preview of the video on Wednesday. You're going to get a past clip and you're not going to get to see the newest one. So that's the only thing that you're really missing out on, but you're still going to be able to see the video. It's just, going to be a few days late.
John, I'd like to point out that I think you actually picked up a Patreon.
Yeah, I think I saw Stark Raven Kane said that
Mr. Kane, yes.
Yeah. All right, awesome, and I thank you so much, Kane, Stark Raven Kane. I know that I had a $1 patron sign up the other day, and so now with him, I'm gonna update my end card, my credits, which I know my viewership really drops off fast. After right there near the end, but it's because I have a standard card, but I put all you guys up on the card if you haven't noticed. Stark Raven Kane, send me a message on Facebook, as I know we're Facebook friends. Send me a message on Facebook if you want it to be just Stark Raven Kane, or if you want your actual name up there, just let me know.
List him as Mr. Kane.
Mr. Kane.
Mr. Kane.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end this. Guys, do you have any parting words for everybody else?
Nope. Fuck everybody. Equal opportunity hater.
This has been fun. Looking forward to the next one.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely going to try to schedule these, when you guys are going to be available, because I don't want you guys to really miss out, especially here at the beginning. I know if this does become some kind of successful thing, and we get more people on here, I might have to break it up into different hangouts so that everybody can actually join up. But I'm going to try to schedule these things so that you guys can actually be here in the future. So just be looking out for messages from me scheduling for next month as soon as this month turns over. And I guess, I'll be seeing you guys next month, face to face. I'll see you guys in the chat, every day.
Thanks for waiting on me, John. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been half as fun if you weren't here.
Now, Paul had to have his dose of sexy anyway, so
Yeah,
you were it.
exactly. I'm
I
fairly
don't know where the
certain
hell he's
that.
getting that from.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain Paul has just had your face maximized on his screen the entire time.